All right, here we are, and there's my music. So, welcome everyone to 13 Seasons live stream. Welcome to all the people who are here live and all the people who will watch this later. And for everyone that's new, let me give a brief introduction of what we are doing here. So, the way this works is that here in 13 seasons, we have 13 virtues. That's only three. I don't have enough fingers. I don't have enough fingers. Here, let me do it this way. Let me just bring it up here. All right. So we have these 13 virtues, right? And you can see them here. And each of these 13 virtues together is like a whole, full, well-lived life. It's awesome. I just, having put these to the test for 4 years now, I can say that these 13 virtues cover everything you ever need in life. It's there. And throughout the year, we focus on a different one at different points of the year because trying to focus on all 13 at once is a little overwhelming. So from September 30th to October 27th, that's the range we're in right now, we focus on stay motivated. So for this live stream, we're going to go over what it means to stay motivated, what this virtue is all about, and how to do it. But to get started, I want to first lead us through a very short meditation to help us just be ready for this experience. So, if you'll close your eyes with me and breathe naturally. Let your breath go at whatever rate feels right to you right now. Let everything but your breath fade away. That your breath is all that there is. Become aware of an intention. What is it that you want to get out of watching this live stream or this video right now? By the end of the video, what is it that how does it you hope you've grown or what you hope you've learned? And see that intention like a color, like assign it a color. And let the color move, put that color everywhere in your body. Take time to put it in your core, in your chest, in your throat, all through your head. Put it all through your arms and hands, down into your legs, down to your toes, so that every part of you glows with that color. Be aware of everyone else who's participating in this live stream, either live or who'll watch the video later. Be aware of all of them and let your color extend to them and let their colors extend to you, so that we're all united and helping each other achieve our intentions, unique intentions for this experience. Breathe in light. Breathe out doubt or darkness. Breathe in mindfulness. Breathe out any concerns that might distract you from just being present here. Okay, open your eyes, ready to learn and have a great experience together. Okay. The world can be kind of a rough place right now. And I should take a moment to notice that Devin just posted in the comments. Anyone here, feel free to write in the chat at any moment and give your thoughts about anything. Please feel free to ask questions. I'm happy to interrupt whatever we're doing to answer any questions. And it's good to have you, Devin. It's good to have you. And as long as you can be here, that's great. The world can be kind of a rough place right now. I really feel like ever since in the last few years, we've had in the United States, we've had some pretty contentious politics going on. We're entering that season again. We've had, a pandemic that totally shook us all, and most people haven't probably done the work to recover from that and process how that affected them. We've, the economy's weird right now. Prices of things are all out of whack. And in general, I think a lot of people feel that emotions are just really high and really intense these days. It can just be exhausting and very stressful to just be in the world right now. And I get it that a lot of people might just want to throw in the towel and give up. And whatever giving up looks like for them. And that's where the virtue we're focused on this season comes in, is so handy. So when we talk about staying motivated, let me make this bigger. Actually, I'll make myself smaller and make virtue bigger. There we go. So when we talk about staying motivated, the keyword here is stay motivated, right? We're not talking as much about getting that motivation, okay? There's many of the other virtues that we focus on here. If you look at all the virtues, right? Many of the other ones actually help you get motivated, right? If you discover your yearnity, which means that you find out what it is that fulfills your unique potential, right? That can help you start your motivation, right? Other things like people communicate to you can help you start getting motivated. Things you communicate to yourself. Some emotions can help you start getting motivated. Understand your knowledge can really get you motivated. Like a lot of these things help you start on that path. Love is really powerful to get you motivated, right? But when we talk about staying motivated, what we're talking about here is after you've decided that something's a good thing, after you've started on a path, how do you stay on it? How do you not just fall off the wagon, so to speak? And I think many of us have been here where you set a goal and you're like, or you feel really good about doing something one day and some time passes, you're just like, man, I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't want to do that anymore, right? You set a goal to lose weight and it's still exciting, but then after a day or two, whatever your goals were, your exercise goals, your food goals, they go out the window, because, hey, someone made that cake for you. And you just got to eat it, I just like, my goal doesn't matter, right? It's really easy just to abandon our goals. Devin, I love your vulnerability. I love your honesty. Just, all the time. But these principles of stay motivated here help us keep at our goals, right? And in a world that can be kind of rough right now, right? It can be really hard to keep at good things and to keep wanting to go forward doing and being good. But these 7 principles here are really powerful for this. I was a high school teacher during COVID, and a lot of students just weren't feeling very motivated because, it was hard to learn during COVID. It was hard to be stuck in your house and not have a teacher to help you and things. And with a lot of high school students, I would talk with them and we'd go through these 7 principles like a checklist. And I'd bring up these 7 principles with them and I'd say, we'd be like on a Zoom call and I'd be like, okay, here's what these 7 principles are. Which of these do you need to be motivated to learn at home? And this really helped. This was really helpful. It was a really good framework for that. So as we figure out how to stay motivated, how to keep going in this world the way it is right now, these 7 principles can really, really help. I'm going to review all of them really, really quickly first. And then after I go over them all quickly, then maybe we can hone in on a couple things in more detail. So the first is vulnerability, which is just being okay with failing. Too often we stop something just because we're like, I might fail. And I'd rather just not try than feel like I failed, which is kind of ironic because maybe that is failing. I don't know. So vulnerability is the ability to just be like, I'm going to do this even though I might fail. I don't care. If I fail, it's fine. And that does wonders with motivation, right? That does wonders to be able to just like when you take out like the high stakes and like the scariness of it, it does wonders. Another word for this could be courage, interestingly. We think of courage as meaning, we think of courage as being like, I love the Yoda quote, Devin. We see courage as being like this, like you don't feel fear. That's not true. Courage is doing things even though you feel afraid. And that takes a lot of vulnerability. It's interesting. Most people wouldn't think of courage and vulnerability as the same thing, I think, in our modern vernacular, because we think that courage is like you're so strong and because your courage makes you so strong that you don't feel vulnerable. But courage is like doing something that you're not afraid of doesn't take any courage. That's easy. Courage is vulnerability. Courage is saying, I'm going to do this and I might fail and I'm still going to take the risk. That's courage. The next one is reward. So with reward, it's like, what are the rewards that motivate you? And I think there's really three kinds of reward. There's external rewards or like artificial rewards where you or someone else just gives you something when you reach your goal, right? So if you set a goal that you're going to, do something each day, like you're going to exercise each day, you're going to do your emotion processing each day, or you're going to like read a chapter of a certain book every day, whatever your goal is. If you give yourself a reward, like you say, every day that I do it, I'll eat a candy. Every day that I do it, I'll give myself some video game time, or you give yourself some kind of reward for having done the thing. That's like an external reward. And then you have intrinsic or internal rewards, which is like, or not always internal, I guess. They're intrinsic. And these are rewards that are just like the natural consequences of things. So you might know that if you exercise every day, you're going to get fit. And it's not a reward that you artificially create. It just comes naturally from doing it, right? So you have the artificial or extrinsic rewards, the intrinsic or natural rewards. And then the last kind of reward is reward in the journey, where experience itself is a reward, right? Like just the act of being alive and breathing every day and just trying things, just that experience is rewarding enough. So those are like three different kinds of rewards, and all three are good, right? Like do whichever one of those helps you, do it. Next is using your environment to motivate you. And by environment, I mean anything that surrounds you. So this could just literally be like the room you work in, right? It could be that when you do your homework, there's certain rooms that are not motivating for you, so it's better to go to other places. Could be that exercising in one room doesn't work, but exercising in a different room does for you, right? So it could be literally like which room you're in. It could be certain activities are more motivating outside, or certain activities are more motivating inside. But this is more than just the room you're in. It includes anything you change about your surroundings. And you include the people you do it with, right? Like certain people, it's like hard to focus when you're around them. So you need to focus. You're like, that guy's great. You say, John's great, but I'm not going to be with John when I need to focus. So it's knowing which people motivate you to do certain things and being around those people. Certain music can be motivated, maybe cleaning a space can be motivating, changing the decoration can be motivating, certain lighting can be motivating. It's changing anything about your surroundings to motivate you. And it depends on context, right? Certain things motivate you in one situation, in a different situation they don't. And so it's important to figure that out. The next one is mindfulness. So mindfulness, it's connected to the journey itself as a reward principle. And mindfulness means that you fully experience whatever you're doing right now. You're not thinking about the past. You're not thinking about the future. You're really present, just enjoying or at least accepting whatever's happening right now. Like, take a moment. Just notice what you can hear right now. Now increase your senses by 10% and notice what more you can hear. And smile. Just be grateful to be and to be able to hear that thing. That's mindfulness. And there's some jobs like eating an elephant. Eating an elephant, that's the old saying. Eat an elephant feels like a lot, right? It can feel overwhelming to eat a whole elephant. But so eat the elephant one piece at a time. When you're mindful, you're just focused on the present. So the big goal doesn't feel overwhelming because you're just enjoying this moment right now. And it can help take some of the stress away that might cause you to want to quit. Next is knowledge and curiosity, which are just kind of the same thing. Knowledge is what you know, and curiosity is what you don't know. And both can motivate you. So for example, if you want to stop smoking and you just can't quite stop smoking, so you do some research about the effects of smoking, and then your research reveals some facts that motivate you. In that case, knowledge motivated you. Or things you don't know can motivate you. You can think, I wonder what's on top of that mountain. I wonder what it's like to be up there. And that motivates you to climb it. What you don't know motivates you to seek it out. It's interesting to say to yourself things like, what's it like to go a day without exaggerating the truth? Let that motivate you to try it for a day. You know, things like that can be really motivating. Rhythm. So rhythm, there's lots of rhythms, right? There's the rhythm of day to night. There's the rhythm of like meals throughout the day. You know, you wake up, you eat a meal, you do some things, you eat a meal, you do things, you eat a meal, you do some things, you go to sleep. That's a rhythm, right? There's rhythms of the week. You know, Sunday comes around over and over again. Rhythm of the month, rhythm of like the year and the seasons and the holidays. There's all these rhythms in life. In fact, schedule is just a rhythm, right? And I like rhythm better than schedule because rhythm's a little less more fluid, right? Schedule can feel really restricting. At 10 o'clock, I have to do this. But a rhythm is something you just kind of get into. It's a little more fluid, it feels a little less restricting than a schedule. And rhythm is more in tune with nature and our bodies. Schedules can be kind of artificial, whereas rhythms are in tune with what is. And so rhythms can be really motivating, right? Like, because of rhythms, people go to sleep and get up every morning. That's something they just do every day because of a rhythm. People like eat because of rhythms. Anytime you go to an event, like you go to work or something, or go to work or school, and everyone shows up or most people at least show up at the time they're supposed to show up, do stuff, and then go home at the time, and then do it again the next day. It's a miracle that all those people just show up and keep doing it day after day after day. And a lot of people are just doing it because that's the rhythm. They're just in the rhythm, so they do it. And sometimes we get into rhythms that aren't good for us, right? Like we get into like bad sleeping patterns that are unhealthy, or like habits, like at certain times a day, I just got to smoke, right? We get in these rhythms that are bad for our bodies and for our spirits or for our mental health. But we can choose to develop rhythms that are good. And rhythms, when you start a new rhythm, it feels really hard because your body doesn't like new rhythms. Like your body wants to stay in the same rhythms. So you try to start a new rhythm, it feels very, very challenging. But after you keep at it for a little while, the rhythm will just like keep going. And then once you're in it, the rhythm will just keep you doing it without you really like trying or meaning to, right? Um, the other thing, and you can think of this like soldiers, right? Like the drum, they have the drum and they march the drum and it helps them keep going, right? Or you can think of like Ben Hur, where the slaves are the ship and they beat the drum and they row to the drum and it helps them keep going, right? Uh, Japanese villages used to get together to harvest the rice or plant the rice, and they'd all get together, the rice fields at once, and people would play drums and sing songs to a rhythm, and they would like work to the rhythm, and it kept them going. You may have used music as you work to help you just keep going. That's the power of rhythm. So find some rhythms that work for you, keep you going. And rhythm is joyful, right? Music is joyful. Rhythm, we talk about how this was kind of a harsh world. I led with that. Just going through life with rhythm can help you go through life with joy. And literal music might be part of the answer for you. And then finally, we have purpose. Boy, is purpose motivating. If you can decide what your life purpose is, and then all the activities you want to do, ask yourself, like know your purpose. What do you want your life purpose to be? And like really embrace it and mean it and make something, find your life purpose. What's meaningful to you? And then if everything you do, you say, how does that connect to my life purpose? When you connect it to your life purpose, it's really powerful. I do a lot of emotional eating. This is a thing that I'm working on right now. I emotional eat. It's a thing. I eat as like a crutch to feel better about things. And it's something I'm trying to let go of, and it's something that's really hard for me to let go of. But this purpose principle I thought today could help me. My life purpose I've decided is to help people, help myself and other people live the 13 virtues of 13 seasons. That's my life purpose. I think I have sort of a secondary life purpose, which is just to create beautiful things that make people smile. And if I can say to myself, okay, how does like changing my emotional eating habits help me with my life purpose? That helps, right? If I can say, well, if I can change that, my body's gonna be more healthy, I'm gonna live longer. And then I can help more people for longer live these 13 seasons, these 13 virtues, right? So things like that can help me with my purpose, can help me with my motivation. And all these things, every one of these can help us live joyfully in a kind of otherwise bleak world, right? Like if we're vulnerable, if we say, the world is rough and it might beat me up today, but I'm going to go out and try anyways, then that, that can help us keep going in a rough world. And that relates to curiosity, right? Like you don't know what's going to happen today. It's powerful to be vulnerable and curious together, to be like, the world might beat me up today. I wonder if it will. Let's see what happens. I wonder what's going to happen today, right? And keep going in the rough world. Mindfulness. When you're mindful, it doesn't matter how rough the world is. There are things around you that are joyful when you're mindful enough to be present with them right now. And then all the worries of the world are things you can't control, don't bother you because you're not thinking about them. You're focused on what you experience right now with your senses. Environment. Surround yourself with uplifting things that make you smile in the midst of this rough world. Play some happy music, dance, which helps with rhythm. Surround yourself with the people that make you smile. Do those things. Reward. People ride roller coasters because they're fun. People go see, and they're fun because they're kind of scary. People watch an entertaining movie is a movie that has lots of conflict. Sure, the world's a rough place, but that conflict itself can be rewarding, right? Because it makes life interesting. A plot of a good movie or a good book is interesting because of the problems the characters have. life would be really boring if everything just went well all the time. And so in some ways, in a kind of an interesting way, like the very problems of life could be kind of motivating as like a challenge and rewarding to face them. And purpose. Maybe some of the really rough things in life are actually the things help you fulfill your purpose. I grew up in a pretty awful circumstance in a lot of ways. My caregiver, the adult who was my caregiver growing up, had severe mental illness. And so wasn't able to be that safe person that a child needs in order to grow up feeling safe and well and balanced. And so it was rough. And I grew up with a lot of trauma because of that. And I'm grateful it happened that way. Because I'm healing from that now, and the experience of making sense of what happened and then learning to heal from it has helped me become the person with the experience I need to be and to help other people heal. And so my purpose, my desire to help people develop these 13 virtues, heal into these 13 virtues, my purpose, I'm able to accomplish my purpose because of my trauma. And, when it comes to using my creativity to make beautiful things, I can make more beautiful things because of my trauma. I'm a more effective artist and creator because of the hard things I've been through. Given me experience I can talk about in stories I tell. I'd like to end with a little meditation now. I'd love for you all to follow along with me for that. Let me just close this thing. You do this. And by the way, everything you just saw was on all the visuals you saw were on the 13 Seasons website, 13seasons.org. Any of you can go to 13seasons.org and click around. And when you're there, if you click on the 13, I should bring it back up, I guess. When you're there, if you click on the 13 virtues thing right here, then it has all the virtues and what seasons we focus when we focus on each of them. You can click on Stay Motivated, for example, and you can go through and you can read more detail about these and take more notes. And it has questions you can reflect on. You can read each section and reflect on these questions. I suggest reflecting and writing about these questions. People have told me that writing these questions has been life-changing for them, like answering these questions on these pages. And on the side here, it has like different activities you can try doing that can help you to do this, or books you can read, videos you can watch, things like that. Okay, Devin has a question before our meditation. Devin asks, how many of these would you say is ideal for staying motivated most of the time? My environment, mostly because of family, is often not very motivating. I wish I could be somewhere else, but can't. That's a really good point. There's wisdom in figuring out what we can control, what we can't control. One of the other virtues on the website is accepting agency. And that means accepting what you can control, accepting the fact that you have agency to control certain things, but also accepting the fact that other people's choices and circumstances beyond your control affect you, and to just accept those things. And so if you're in a stage of life right now where you can't control like who you're around and who you're living with, then it's wise to use mindfulness to just kind of accept that. Maybe do some emotion processing around it, because that might make you mad that you can't control it, and that's great to bring up that anger because it needs to be taken care of. So bring that up and write it all out, or tap while you feel it, or write it out and destroy it. That's a really good thing. But if you can't, if you can't control the aspect of your environment, then, you might focus on other aspects of your environment. Maybe you can control, like one room of the house. That could be your environment you can control. Maybe going on walks to get out into other environments can be really effective. And then, using the other 6 principles, because it's not like you need all 7 of them all the time, right? Sometimes just one of them is what you need for a certain circumstance. But I would say this: if you apply all 7 of these motivational principles and you still don't feel motivated to do something, if none of them are enough, it might be that the thing you're trying to motivate to do just doesn't fulfill your unity. It's just not part of what works for you. And then just stop trying to do it all together. Sometimes there's things you want to do that just aren't worth doing. And if these principles don't work, that might be why. Was that helpful to you, Devin? Do you have a follow-up question or thought? And if anyone else wants to add anything to the comments when we do our meditation, I was going to end at that point after the meditation. So this would be a great time to ask questions and talk about anything. I'm glad you have your room, Devin. Devin says that it's nice that having his room is good and going on walks can help. And I'm glad you have those things. Sometimes you have to be really creative to figure out how to apply these principles. But creativity is a gift, and it's good to. And sometimes obstacles push our creativity extra hard, right? As a filmmaker, I find that some people think that like having a limited budget hurts their films, but having limited budgets or limitations can actually bring out more creativity. And it's like that with life. Having limitations in life can bring out more creative solutions in ourselves. Okay, let's do a meditation. Take a big deep breath. One more breath with the intention of having a really great meditation right now. Close our eyes together and keep breathing. Feel the air filling your body each time you breathe in. Let the air be like medicine to you, nourishing your body and healing your body. Be aware of your chest and your neck. And in that space, be aware of an obstacle. You can have a visual there. Something that for you represents one of the obstacles that makes it hard for you to follow through on something you know would be good for you to do. Be really aware of that obstacle. Express gratitude for that obstacle. Because just like the resistance of weights is what helps muscles become strong, the resistance of this obstacle will help your soul become strong. This obstacle helps your soul muscles grow. Your character muscles grow. Now, if this obstacle used to be like a barrier, like a door, you can see it like a barrier, a door, see the obstacle as like a barrier, door in front of you. But then with your breath, as you breathe in and out, just change the obstacle into like smoke that can be passed through, right? Like a solid obstacle is hard to pass through. It's smoke. It might be hard to see through it, but you can walk through it. Let the obstacle become like smoke or mist. And then with your breath, when you let out the next breath, just blow it all away. And repeat in your mind these words. I'm grateful for this obstacle. I'm grateful it gives me a chance to grow. I turn this obstacle to smoke and I blow it away. And moving forward, it's going to be easy for me to move through this obstacle and follow through on the thing I want to do. Be aware now of your purpose. Why do you want your life to matter? At the end of your life, when you look back, what's the big overall thing you want to have achieved? How is the resistance? Ask yourself, how is the resistance of this obstacle? How does that resistance strengthen me to help me reach my purpose? Rejoice in that. See light all throughout your chest and neck, where we've been visualizing today. Fill that whole space with light and feel that you can do it. You can follow through on your good thing. Take the light there. And see a timeline before you with yourself staying on the present day. And in front of you, see a timeline going out to the future. And take with the light inside you, fly across the timeline. Send the light across the timeline to the future date where you have followed through on the good thing you want to do. What does it look like? What can you see through your future eyes when you've successfully done that thing? What can you hear with your future ears when you've successfully done that thing? What can you smell with your future nose when you've successfully done that thing? What do you feel in your future body when you've successfully done that thing? And take these sensations and add them to the light that you've made and bring that light into your present body so that your present body feels as if you've already been successful at the thing you want to do. Shake any part of your body that wants to shake. Move any part of your body that wants to move. Move through any tension. You can massage any part of your body that feels tense or shake it or move it. As you shake, let the light, it's like that you're shaking the light all throughout your body so that the light of that future, the sensation of that future, you've already been successful, moves all throughout you. And sit here and just feel confident in your success. This future you've experienced is the reward can motivate you. Just being mindful in this space, in this light, in this state motivates you. Light, we've been talking about light. Light has frequency. Light is a wave that goes up and down, and that's a rhythm. The rhythm of the light motivates you. Taking a deep breath and breathe in even more light. So this motivating light fills your whole body. Feel the confidence that not that you will be successful, you are successful because the future already exists. Like a script of a movie, the script of the future has already been written, and now you're just going to enact it. The script is programmed into your body, and now your body is just going to do the programming. In a moment, it'll be time to open your eyes. And when you do, let the light and the sensations that fill your body now merge with your 5 physical senses and the way that you sense the physical world. Okay, open your eyes and let those merge together. If you want to strengthen the program we've done today, then you could just make some time every day, just a little bit of time. Maybe make it part of a rhythm, right? You can make it part of a rhythm. You can set a little bit of time each day at a set time in your rhythm. You can set some time to I don't know who Krasagacha is, but I'm assuming that you have been a student of mine at some time at a school since you call him Mr. Wag. Whoever you are, I know you're my friend, but I don't know what his name means. But Krasagacha, that's a cool name, and it's good to have you here. Layla. Well, hello, Layla. So something you can do, everyone that's watching, is you can make some time every day to close your eyes and visualize a future where you've been successful at the thing you're trying to follow through on. And now strengthen the programming. Because what we can do is, instead of trying to use willpower to follow through on something every day, we can use rhythm to check in every day and strengthen programming of our body, and then let our bodies just do the programming. And if we just make time to just visualize ourselves through our future senses being successful, that programs our body to be that way. And just make it part of your rhythm. My family, we do a programming activity like this. We do one where we tap over the ears. So it's a form of tapping where you go like this over the ear, and we go over the left ear 5 times and describe the old habit that we're going to let go of. Then we go over the right ear 5 times and describe the new habit we're going to start. And we just do that. That's like a way we program ourselves every day. And we've made it part of a rhythm because when we sit down for dinner, before we start eating, we do the left side, we do the right side, put our hands on our chest, think about 5 things we're grateful for, then put our hands towards our food, and just visualize light in our food so that we visualize taking the good light and goodness into our bodies when we eat it. And then we eat. And that is that's a rhythm we've gotten into that helps us change. And the habits we've been manifesting for the last month that way, we noticed this weekend we're completely in place as a family, like 100% there after a month of doing that. And so that's the power of rhythm, just having set times in life when you do certain things. All right, everyone, that's all for today. If anyone wants to, I'll stick around just for I'm gonna start the music in a sec to kind of say goodbye, and then I'll stick around for a couple minutes, just kind of groove into the music in case anyone wants to say anything in the comments and I can add anything about that. But otherwise, feel free to sign off now, and I'll see you all in the next one. And until then, enjoy your best self, one season at a time. And you just dance with the music because it's rhythm, and rhythm is good for us. The point of virtue is to live a good life. It's been good to have you, Devin. See you next time. We'll always do this. We always do these the first. If you look at the season list, if you look at the dates of each season, we always do these. The habit right now is do them the evening on the first Sunday of each season. So live stream. So the next one, will be the first Sunday after October 28th, which I think is the 29th, but I should check and make sure. All right. I'll see everyone around. Farewell and goodbye.